Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russia's Civil Aviation Authority has said the Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin was on board a plane that crashed north of Moscow, killing all 10 passengers on board. Here the plane falling from the sky, filmed by a local resident on their mobile phone. And here the devastating aftermath. Authorities say all 10 people on the plane were killed, and passengers including Prigozhin and his right-hand man Dmitry Utkin. This is the last known video of the mercenary chief, posted on Telegram on Monday. There's huge speculation about what happened. UK defence sources saying Russia's FSB intelligence agency is most likely to be responsible. The Wagner mercenary group was very active in Ukraine until Prigozhin led a short-lived mutiny in June, Putin calling it treachery at the time.
I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised.
Do you believe?
There's not much that happens in Russia that Putin's not behind, but I don't know enough to know the answer.
It's not yet clear how Putin and the Kremlin are going to respond to this incident and how they're going to play it. As we speak now, there's been silence up until now from the Kremlin. Now, it could be that Putin will come out with another angry denunciation of Prigozhin in the same way that he did during the mutiny. Or it could be that this will all be blamed on Ukrainian saboteurs, or possibly even the Americans or the British.
Japan has begun releasing treated radioactive water from the Fukushima plant into the Pacific Ocean 12 years after a nuclear meltdown. The UN's atomic regulator says the discharge is safe and will have negligible impact on humans and the environment. But China has slapped a ban on Japanese seafood, with the government branding it extremely selfish and irresponsible. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced that Japan has requested for China to immediately lift its import ban and is seeking a science-based discussion on the impact of the water release. There have been protests in China, South Korea and Japan itself about the release of the water. Ukraine's president and other officials have taken part in Independence Day ceremonies in Kyiv. Volodymyr Zelensky commended all Ukrainians for their resilience and highlighted the cohesion of Ukrainian society in the face of Russia's aggression. He also promised that Ukraine would emerge from the war victorious. Meanwhile, Kyiv residents examined a collection of captured and destroyed Russian military hardware. Some shed tears as they spoke about the fight against the invading Russian forces, while others expressed pride and defiance. The day marked the 32nd independence celebration in Ukraine's history as a sovereign nation and the second Independence Day since the Russian invasion. On the day Kyiv marked 32 years of independence from Moscow, at least 13 people were wounded in Russian attacks on Ukraine. A strike on a bus terminal in Dnipro wounded 10 and damaged shops and their contents. More than 10 other buildings, including a bank, a hotel and an administrative building, were also damaged. India's moon rover has taken its first steps on the lunar surface a day after the country made history by becoming the first to land near the south pole of the moon. Chandrayaan-3's rover ramped down from the lander and India took a walk on the moon, the space agency said. The Vikram lander successfully touched down as planned on Wednesday evening. With this, India joins an elite club of countries to achieve a soft landing on the moon after the US, the former Soviet Union and China. And love was very much in the air at the World Athletics Championships as two Slovakian race walkers got engaged on the finish line. Hanna Berzalova was just crossing the finish line at the end of her 35-kilometre race walk in Budapest when she spotted her boyfriend Dominic Kearney, who just completed the same distance in the men's event, down on one knee. The newly engaged couple posed for the cameras afterwards, with Berzalova showing off her new engagement ring. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.